Hello and welcome to Makeup Monday. It is January 7th. The first full week has gone by, and today we are going to do an empties video because what better way to start off the first of the year or the first week of the year? This little hair is going to drive me buggy, I can just tell, is to get rid of a bunch of stuff. So empties videos, here we go. And if you're wondering what I'm wearing on my lips, it's this. It's the L'Oreal Paints number 300 in Lilac Lust. Might be a little much for some people. I am absolutely in love with it. So and it fell to the floor because that's what happens. Empties video. Empties number 1. This clear hair scalp therapy total care 24/7 total care. They do have ones, for color treated hair and whatnot, but this is the one that I like to use. I'm very, very loyal to it. I do find that I like to once every couple weeks use a more clarifying shampoo like Selsun Blue, but for the most part, this is a go-to for me on a regular basis. Absolutely wonderful. Then a little less wonderful, which is unusual, is my Ole Henner Skin Uplifting Eye Cream. Normally I love this. I've repurchased it numerous times. This is probably my 6th or 7th pot of it. And I don't know what happened, but normally I love this because not only is it a great, really good eye cream for day or night, but it also didn't bother my eyes until this pot. I don't know if the oxygen caused a weird chemical reaction, if they recently reformulated this, but I would put it on, and after about 10 or 20 seconds, I would start to get this tingling, stinging sensation. And it wasn't, oh my gosh, I can't use it anymore, but it was unpleasant. And the funny thing was, it didn't start happening until about halfway through the pot. So again, it wasn't bad enough for me to entirely stop using it before it became empty, but I'm still it leaves me a little bit head scratching. A product that is still tried and true and wonderful to me is the Yes to Tomatoes Acne Paper Fighting Mask. I absolutely love this. I talk about it all the time. I have an entire video dedicated to acne masks, and that is in my top 3. Also is a Tea Tree Toner Tab. There's not one in here because I've used it, but it is the Tea Tree Toner Tab from Lush. And it's not something that I require on a regular basis, but I do like to have it once in a while. Once every couple months I buy a couple of them, and I usually break mine in half so I get 4 uses out of it because I find one is just so much. It's just a little too much for me. Then this is the Therapy Aches and Pains Muscle Relief. This is one of those drugstore salt soaks that I absolutely love. It smells like menthol and eucalyptus. It's very relaxing, very soothing. Be careful what you mix with it because vanilla scented things do not go well with menthol, like bath bombs or something like that, just so you're aware. Something that smells wonderful all the time to me is the Marc Jacobs Decadence perfume, and this is the roller ball. I prefer roller balls because they smell sweet. It's decadent like a sweet, and I prefer roller balls because they're travel friendly and I actually go through them before the perfume starts to go off. This is the Glam Glow Thirsty Mud Hydrating Treatment Mask. This is supposed to give instant hydration to your face. You're supposed to instantly feel, and it was fine. Not something that I would repurchase in the full size. It smelled glorious and it went on very wonderfully, but Glam Glow masks just don't impress me very much. I've had about 4 or 5 of them, and I almost never get them out of the sample size. They don't wow me enough. What did wow me in the mask world is the very inexpensive Soleil Pure Detox Mud Mask Sheet Mask. Now, if that sounds weird to you, that's because it is. It is a sheet mask, but it's a clay mud mask sheet mask. So it's a sheet that has the clay on it. And I'll go over more details on this in next Makeup Monday when I do a full mask review. But this is wonderful, but it's intense. This is a 40-minute mask. Definitely not the kind of mask that you're going to be able to do really quickly. It is not your typical sheet mask. This is a typical toothbrush toothbrush. This is an Oral-B toothbrush, and I got a new one, so it's technically an empty. This is also an odd kind of an empty. This is an electronic item. Why is it empty? Because it doesn't... Alright, so this is called the Tanda Zap. And this is very much like the, what is it, Neutrogena or something, Almay, maybe L'Oreal. One of those brands came out with, you know, the light therapy acne mask. This is a light therapy acne spot treatment. Now, when I first got this, I got it on Outlook. I don't remember the price off the top of my head, but I got it from Outlook. It came in, and what happens is you would push this button, and then a blue light would come out of here, and the little thing would vibrate. So, if somebody didn't know what this was supposed to be for, they might think something inappropriately. But, you take this, and you would stick it on your face, right on top of the thing, and when it was done vibrating, then that was your indication that a minute and a half, I believe, a minute 30 seconds would go by, and you needed to do this 3 times a day. 3 times a day. Most treatments are once a day. Some of them are day and night, like use in the morning, use in the evening. This was 3 times a day per spot. So you have to sit there and That's a long time. You could be spending 20 minutes just holding this thing on your face. And, you know, then you have to wipe it off after every time, because of the idea of it is that the blue light on it would destroy bacteria and fix your acne problems. I can't say it didn't do anything. How helpful it was for acne, for small, not now. In fairness, in the instructions, it said that this would not help with cystic acne, which is a problem that I personally suffer from. So if you have those big painful pustules, then that's the thing. But if it's just your everyday casual little bump here or there, whitehead kind of things, then this did help, but it also really dried out the spots. When I would take it off, and even if you're just holding it, like you don't have to sit there and crush it into your skin, but if you were just holding it there, you take it off, you would have a red circle of where it was, and the area would start to flake and dry. Not a great look. And all the primer and all the moisturizer in the world doesn't help when your whole face is flaking off like that. But I did still have acne, and I had flare-ups come after I used it. And it didn't last very long. It lasted maybe 2 weeks, and it's supposed to be, use this for 4 to 6 weeks of continuous use to see proper results. Well, how can I do that? And I thought, it takes 3 AAA batteries. I replaced the batteries, but once you push this button, by the way, hard button, you had to sit there and I had to double thumb to get it to turn on most of the time. And once the light is used up, because it was only good for so many uses, even replacing the batteries didn't help. So I'm like, what, am I supposed to get 3 of these at once to maintain that if it's only gonna last roughly 2 weeks? This is the Revlon Jules. Oh, do you remember when Revlon came out with their crystal collection, like the crystal glaze collection, where it had like the sugar lip glitter and everything was sparkly? These were eyelash jewels. There was a gel in here that you would click out of the top of this and dot along your lashes. So beautiful. And I've held on to that for probably a lot longer than I should have. But then there's this. This is the Forever Dior Skin in light beige, I believe is the color I have it in. And this was, I'm very torn on this, because on the one hand, it was a beautiful foundation. I loved how it felt. I loved how it blended. I loved how it looked. It didn't have the most amazing lasting power. It was finicky with the primers. With a silicone-based primer like Smashbox, it worked out really well. With my e.l.f. Poreless and the hydrating primer, didn't last quite as long with those. It claims to be everlasting wear, and it did, but it needed powder and setting spray to do that. It by itself didn't last a long time on its own. And it has sunscreen, which is fantastic. It says that it also has a pore refining effect, which I'm sort of meh on. And with the price, I'm like, it was good. It wasn't perfect. Would I repurchase it? Maybe. I needed a lot of this. This actually didn't last a super long time because I needed 3 to 4 pumps to put all over my face. I would need less pumps with a brush and more with a beauty blender for whatever reason, absorption and whatnot. But it was a nice foundation, but I'm kind of torn about it. Speaking of using a brush, this is the IT Cosmetics, one of their, built-in fancy brushes. This is stained. It's stained after the very first time I've had it. I've only had it a couple years, and after the second time I washed it, you might be able to see that, look how easy this is. It's been happening. At first, when I first washed it, I was like, okay, you typically lose a couple loose hairs in a brush when you first wash it. But ever since then, it loses them magnificently, which is a real shame because this was such a wonderful foundation brush. It was a flat top, but all the washing in the world, every different kind of washing, Sigma, shampoo, virgin olive oil, wiping it on a makeup removing wipe first, nothing really was able to save this from staining, which is a frustration for me because I haven't had that problem with any of the other IT Cosmetics brushes or any other brush that's there. Last product here is the Maybelline Are You Ready foundation. It's a blue-based red that I used up, and it's number 625. And oh, it was glorious. It wore beautifully. For a creamy, regular lipstick, it lasted so nicely. And this is just a thing. Hair doesn't want to behave today. Look at this. It's like a reverse alfalfa going on, I tell ya. I'm going to bed. Gonna take off my makeup and go to bed. I'm tired. Those are my empties. I'll see you all later. Bye.